This is TechCrunch. When TechCrunch's Lucas Ropak spoke to Blake Resnick, Blake was walking around his drone startup's newest office space in Seattle, a cavernous 50,000 square foot facility that Resnick estimates will not be fully set up until later in the year, potentially November. Still, the big and for now largely empty building offers the promise of a fast-growing company intent on conquering its particular industry. The industry in question is public safety, and the startup is Brinc, which sells drones to police and public agencies across the U.S. The company wants to be the DJI of the West, as Resnick has put it, a nod to the Chinese drone manufacturer and a signal that Resnick wants Brinc to become equally synonymous with the tech it sells. A former Teal Fellow, a prestigious program that funds young entrepreneurs to skip or defer college, Resnick founded Brinc back in 2017 and not long afterward garnered interest from then OpenAI founder Sam Altman, who ultimately served as one of Brinc's first seed investors. Since then, Brinc has enjoyed a number of funding rounds and, as of its last, was valued at nearly $500 million. Brinc launched its newest product on Tuesday, a new public safety drone called Guardian that Resnick says is the closest thing to a police helicopter replacement that the drone industry has ever produced. Brinc claims it is the world's most capable 911 response drone ever. Guardian certainly comes with some formidable specs and capabilities. The drone can fly at speeds of up to 60 miles per hour and can endure an hour-long flight. It also comes equipped with thermal imaging cameras as well as 2 additional 4K cameras, all of which have zoom capabilities. Resnick said even from significant altitude, a police department could read, license plate details. Additionally, there's a spotlight and a loudspeaker with more volume than a police siren. The drone's landing station, which Brinc calls a charging nest, offers fully automated battery swapping and can be stocked with critical safety supplies like defibrillators, flotation devices, and Narcan, all without human intervention. Guardian also comes with a Starlink panel embedded directly into its body, making it, according to Brinc, the first public safety drone with such a capability. Starlink, SpaceX's satellite internet service, affords the drone connectivity at any location throughout the world. Resnick said Starlink has never been built into a commercially produced quadcopter before, so it gives this airframe unlimited range anywhere in the world. Resnick clearly sees public safety as a big opportunity, saying there are about 20,000 police departments in America, 30,000 fire departments, 80,000 police and fire stations, and we think the top half of that market in the future will have a 911 response drone and a recharging nest on the roof. It sure looks like we're looking at a $6 to $8 billion market opportunity, he said, assessing markets in both the U.S. and other countries. On that front, Brinc recently partnered with the National League of Cities on a program to scale drone as first responder programs in communities throughout the country, a move that will surely help foster relationships between the startup and communities that could ultimately become customers. Additionally, Resnick feels that recent geopolitical developments have worked in his company's favor. Until recently, DJI enjoyed an unofficial monopoly on the global drone market, including here in the U.S., where safety agencies have long relied on the Chinese company's products. But the Trump administration recently banned foreign-made drone models from entering the country, thus opening up a huge potential market. Resnick said there is this huge need for DJI of the West, or a leading drone manufacturer for the free world, and ultimately, that's what we want to be. The space ambitions of nation-states and billionaires alike demand better sources of power, and a new startup founded by 2 Stanford PhDs may have the answer. Arinna, founded by CEO Kusha Nazif and CTO Alex Shearer, said Wednesday that it had raised a $4 million seed round to build ultrathin solar panels from a brand new material developed during their doctoral research. The capital raise was led by Space Cadet Ventures with participation from Anorak Capital and Breakthrough Energy Foundation. The company declined to share its valuation. Arinna, named for the Hittite god of the sun, expects to have its first products being tested on orbit before the end of this year. After qualifying their photovoltaics in space, the company hopes to build a facility that can mass-produce the stuff at megawatt scale in 2028. Shearer said, "We are building qualification panels to send to our first customers that will demonstrate that these two-dimensional photovoltaics have the efficiency and the durability to survive space. We're going to prove that out at a larger scale over the next year, and in doing so, we are refining the processes necessary to make every single layer of our photovoltaic to produce these in a roll-to-roll fashion." Arinna builds solar cells specifically for spacecraft. In the pre-SpaceX world, when most satellites were bespoke, spacecraft used expensive but hardy solar panels made of rare earth elements. With mass-manufactured satellites, cheaper silicon panels are being used, but they degrade more quickly due to cosmic radiation. So instead, Arinna's technology is based on a new material, transition metal dichalcogenides, or TMDs, atomically thin semiconductors that have only been developed in recent decades. Arinna's ultrathin solar technology allows for extremely flexible cells that the company claims are cheaper and more durable than legacy space solar panels. Ben Gaddy is a materials scientist and senior director at Breakthrough Energy, and he told TechCrunch that a lot of solar development over the years are eking out slight percentage improvements on well-known and existing technology. This is a totally different class of materials. Nazif and Shearer met at Stanford while pursuing their doctoral research. Nazif's work was in materials that could also be used to create photovoltaic cells as capable as traditional semiconductors, while Shearer developed techniques to produce those cells at scale. Shearer joked, "Kusha was very much the architect, and I am the construction." The company expects its photovoltaics will be far more flexible than traditional panels and 32% more efficient. Arinna's technology also will not require protective coverings. They'll last 15 years on orbit, and Shearer says they can be delivered within weeks. These would be major upgrades over the current technology as long as the company gets through its orbit test campaign this year without any surprises and can deliver on its mass manufacturing plans. Wiz Kuzai, who is a general partner at Space Cadet Ventures who led the round, told TechCrunch, "What I've seen from all of the space companies we've invested in is that power is a barrier, a bottleneck. Arinna are going to be the unlock for the next generation of power needs in space." That's all for now. For more stories like these, go to TechCrunch.com.